Hello students, I am Barsha and I welcome you all to this another interesting session of today. We are going to study another interesting chapter from your EVS book, Who Will Do This Work? Students, you would have observed that we all are very much careful about the cleanliness of our houses. We take every special care to keep our houses neat and clean. But have you ever observed we find a lot of garbage and dirt around our houses? Have you ever thought of that who cleans all the garbage and dust? Of course, there are special people who take care of the dirt and garbage. So we do not bother about it. But is it only their responsibility or it is the responsibility of all of us? This has to be answered through this chapter which we are going to read today. So I do believe that all the unanswered questions will be answered through this chapter, which is going to focus on the lives of those people who work very hard to keep our surroundings clean. So students, let's start the chapter. You would have observed these kind of people around your houses. Have you ever noticed them? Could you tell me, whenever you see these people, what do you think about them? What comes to your mind? So the first thought which comes to our mind is, how could they do such kind of dirty work? But they really work hard to keep the place clean. So that is their responsibility to keep the places clean. They do it for our sake. But do you think that is it only their responsibility to keep these places clean? And have you ever thought what is the need to do this kind of work? Why do these people do this kind of work? Now, our friends spoke to some staff who do cleaning jobs. Here are some of the things they told us. Let me take you to that conversation. Since when have you been doing this work? They answer, about 20 years since I completed my studies. Then our staff asks them, why did you not study further? You could have got some other job. They reply, you need money for studies, and even after that most of our people continue to do this kind of work. So when they were asked that since when did they start doing this kind of work, they replied that they have been in this profession since 20 years since they completed their studies. So once they complete their study, they are into this work. The staff asked that why did not they try to study further? They could have joined for some other job, they could have got another better job. Then they replied that for studying further also they require money, which is very, very essential. But they do not have enough money with them. They do not have enough funding with them. So they are forced to do this work even after studying more. Many of them would have studied, but still they continue to do this kind of work. Then the staff asked, what do you mean? They replied that since our great-grandfather's times or even before that, most people of our community have been doing this work. Even after getting a college degree, our people do not get any other kind of job. So they have to do this work. So this is the major problem. This is regarded that a doctor's son will be a doctor and a sweeper's son will be a sweeper forever. So this mentality of our society compels these people to go for this work even after getting a good degree from good and reputed colleges. So students, this is the reason for which even after being educated, many good educated people are into this kind of job, because our society considers that their grandfathers and great grandfathers were sweepers or cleaners, so they should also do the same. We have to change this mentality from our society. They were again asked that why is that so? And they replied, that is the way it is. In the entire city, all the people who do this kind of work are from our community. It has always been so. So we may accept it or not, but this is the bitter reality of our society where we live. It is always believed that this cleaning job is meant for a particular community of the people. So even if they are educated, still they are not allowed to pursue any other kind of job in our society. Isn't it so unfortunate and pathetic? So we should reconsider this case and think deeply about it. Now let us move ahead and find out what else do they face in their lives. Before we move to that, there are certain things which you should do. Students, you should step out of your homes, and wherever you see these kind of people who are cleaning around your houses or your surroundings or around your school, you should try talking to them. Try to inquire why are they doing this, since when have they been doing so, and why didn't they study. So there are a set of questions which you should ask them, and there are some obvious answers they would have. You can ask them, since when have they been doing this work? They may answer that maybe it has been 10 to 15 years since they have been in this work. How much have they studied? Most of them would reply that they have not studied beyond class 5. You can ask them, have they ever tried to look for some other work? They would reply, no, they haven't even tried to look for some other work. You can ask them, did the elders in their family also do this work? And their reply would be a definite yes, because the elders were doing this work in their family, so they were also compelled to do this work. You should ask them, what kind of difficulties do they face in doing this work? Students, they face many kinds of difficulties while doing this work. They may answer that they have to bear the foul smell. The foul smell often results in nausea and headache. Their job is considered as dirty job, and hence they are looked down upon by other people, because they work in these kinds of dirty atmosphere. So most of the people try to avoid these people, and they don't even talk nicely to these people. Should we follow the same? I don't think so, because they are the people because of whom we stay safe. So we should respect these people as well. Now you have a picture in front of you where you could see so many different kinds of people doing different odd jobs. Whatever work you could see, you could list any 5 of these. Now the question for you is, if you were asked to do any 5 jobs shown in this picture, which would you choose and why? There are so many jobs here if you observe this picture carefully. There is a doctor, there is a teacher, there is a shopkeeper, there is a driver, there is a painter who is painting the walls of the houses, there is a cook, and there are so many kinds of odd jobs here. There are people working in offices, there are people in the restaurant, a waiter is serving food to them, there is a painter. So there are so many different kinds of jobs here which you could find. Now it is your choice, it's your decision which job are you going to choose, and you have to give a reason for that. Now your next question is, which 5 jobs would you not choose? Why? Now we have to discuss that what kind of work or jobs do people not want to do, and why is that? Now students, according to the mental stigma of our society, people do not want to do those work which are not challenging and which do not require much of mental ability. All the menial jobs like cleaning, sweeping, etc. come under such category of jobs. People want to do a job which is challenging and well paying. People also want to earn respect in society. Next question for you is, so who does this kind of work? Why do people do this kind of work what others do not want to do? Yes, you are absolutely correct. Poor and uneducated people do this kind of work. The poverty doesn't allow them to study beyond certain grades. Lack of education makes them unfit for doing most of the jobs. That is why these people have to do menial jobs. Now there is a situation for you people to imagine and think deeply about this question. What would happen if nobody did this work? If nobody cleared the garbage lying outside your house or school for 1 week, then what would happen? Think of some ways, let it be the machines or other things, so that people would not have to do such kind of work which they don't like to do. You can also draw a picture of what you thought. What you see in your book are the pictures which are also made by the children. They have devised various ways by which it will not be a pressure for the people, but rather the machines can do the jobs easily. If you have any other idea, you can also share it. But if we think deeply about this problem, that what will happen, you would have a great answer. Yes, of course, if nobody would do this work, then it will create problems for us. The garbage will get collected outside our school and houses. It will start giving bad smell due to the process of rotting. It could create epidemics also. The place full of garbage will look very ugly. Think of some ways, some other ways for cleaning so that people would not have to do this work are crane. Like cranes can be used to lift huge amount of garbage. This also eliminates the need of garbage handling by hand. Dalao, the big dustbin in which garbage is collected, is called dalao. The garbage truck lifts the whole dalao and takes it to the garbage dumping site. Now, there's another question for you people. Do you think that anyone has ever tried to change the situation? Yes, many people have tried. People are trying even today, but it is not easy to change this. One such person was Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhiji had a friend, Mahadev Bhai Desai. Mahadev Bhai's son Narayan also stayed with Gandhiji when he was young. This incident is from Narayan's book. So students, we had so many brave and courageous people who decided to fight against this injustice. They thought that everyone is equal and everyone should get the opportunity to do what he wants and should not be forced to do anything which he doesn't want to do. One such great leader was Mahatma Gandhi. So there is an incident from Narayan's book, who was Mahadev Bhai's son, and he was a good friend of Mahatma Gandhi. So here is the story for you, remembering those days. When Narayan, his nickname was Babla, was about 11 years old, he was staying in Gandhiji's Sabarmati ashram. Like everyone else in the ashram, he had to do various kinds of work. One of his jobs was to teach the guests how to clean the toilets. In those days, the toilets were not what we know today. There used to be holes under which baskets were kept. People sat on the holes. Later, the baskets had to be lifted by hand to be emptied. So when Narayan was only 11 years old, he was staying with Gandhiji in the Sabarmati ashram. We all know about Sabarmati ashram, which is situated in the state of Gujarat. And in this ashram, everyone used to do their work themselves. So one of the various jobs he did was to teach the guests how to clean the toilets. You will be surprised to know that we are fortunate enough to have such good toilets in our houses. But in ancient days, the toilets were not like this. There were holes, and under the holes, baskets were kept. So whatever you do, like whenever you go for the purpose, so everything falls into the basket. People sat on the holes and the baskets had to be lifted by hand to be emptied. So this is what was taught to the guests. It was the usual practice that people from a particular community would do this work. But in Gandhiji's ashram, every person had to carry the basket to the compost pit and empty it there. No one was excused from this task, not even the guests. Narayan Bhai remembers how some people used to try and avoid this work. Some even left the ashram because of this. So, it's a usual and general practice that there was a particular community who would do this work, who would do the cleaning of the toilets. But in Gandhiji's ashram, it was not followed. According to Gandhiji, everyone had to do their work themselves. So, everybody had to empty the basket to the compost pit, and many of them were not willing to do this work. This work was meant for everyone. Every member of the ashram had to follow this rule. Even if the guests come to the ashram, they also had to do the same. So many of the people who were staying in the ashram did not want to do this work because they regarded it's not a work meant for them. It should be done by the people, those who belong to the lower community. But Gandhiji instructed that everybody should do this work. The people, those who were not in support of this, even left the ashram. Some years later, Gandhiji went to stay at a village near Wardha in Maharashtra. Gandhiji, Mahadev Bhai and others started to clean the toilets in the village. They did this for some months. One morning, a man coming from the toilet saw Mahadev Bhai. He pointed to him and said, "There is a lot of dirt over there. Go and clean that." When Babla saw this, he was very angry. He thought the villagers felt that this was not their work. This was for Gandhiji and his team to do. He asked Gandhiji why this was so. Gandhiji replied, "Untouchability is a serious matter. Lot of hard work will be required to change this." After some years, Gandhiji, Mahadev Bhai and some other people, they went to a village near Wardha in Maharashtra. They stayed there, and Gandhiji along with Mahadev Bhai and other team members started cleaning the toilets in the village. So they continued this work for some months. They didn't feel ashamed about cleaning the toilets. But one fine day, when Mahadev Bhai was walking along, the man who was coming from the toilet saw Mahadev Bhai. He pointed to him and said that you should go to clean a lot of dirt over there. He meant about the toilet. So when Babla saw this, Babla is the son of Mahadev Bhai. So when he saw this, he became very angry. He immediately went to Gandhiji and shared this incident. So he felt that villagers didn't consider this work as their work, and they thought maybe Gandhiji and his team members have come to do this work in their village. He could not understand because at his age this was a very normal and natural question. He asked Gandhiji why they are thinking so, and Gandhiji replied that untouchability is a serious matter. Students, you would be surprised to know that in ancient days, when Gandhiji was a freedom fighter, this kind of stigma was there in our society. I do not know. Still, in many parts of our country, this is still practiced. There are people who are considered as untouchables, and they are not allowed to interact with the rest of the people in the village or the community. They are not even allowed to take water from the well or from the tube wells. They are not allowed even to enter into the temples. So this was very unfortunate, and if it is being followed now, then we have to change a lot. We have come a long way. So many things have changed since then, but still we need to change the way we think. And that's why Gandhiji replied at that time that a lot of hard work will be required to change this. Actually, he meant to change the mentality and the attitude of the people. The day when people change the way they think, then definitely everything will be changed and we will live in a better place. Now let us move ahead and know what happened next in the story. Narayan knew that the people who usually did this work were thought to be untouchable. He asked, what is the use if the village people do not change their thinking? they have become used to someone else doing this work for them. Narayan could not accept the thought of this untouchability. So he questioned Gandhiji again that if the village people could not change their thinking, then what is the use? Because people would be acquainted with these kind of thought and they would never do their work. They would always depend on us, people like us who are considered to be untouchable, to do this work. Then what should we do? Gandhiji replied, why? Don't you think the people who clean also benefit from it? They also learn a lesson. To learn something is like learning a new skill, even if it is a cleaning job. So Gandhiji didn't want to discourage this young boy. He said, why do you think that who are cleaning, they are not doing a good job? They are doing a good job because whenever you do this cleaning, you are learning a new lesson. Even if it is about cleaning, but still then you are learning a new skill. So it is not bad for anybody. Little Narayan was not convinced. He again argued, those who make a place dirty but do not clean it should also learn lessons. Gandhiji and Narayan continued to argue about this. But when he grew up, Narayan always followed the path shown by Gandhiji. So little Narayan, as he was very young, was not convinced with whatever Gandhiji said, and he argued again and again. He demanded that the people, those who make the place dirty, they should also clean it so that they also learn a new skill. But he was not convinced and the argument continued. But when he grew up, he could understand why Gandhiji said those things and he always followed Gandhiji. So this is from the book in Gujarati by Narayan Bhai Desai, and it tells us a lot about the customs and the thinking which prevailed in the ancient society. So we have to also learn a lot from this, and we have to understand why this kind of thinking leads to problem. If we think deeply, then only we can get a positive solution for this problem. So students, we have learnt about the lives of these people who work hard for us and why do they do all this kind of work. There are certain reasons for which they are compelled to do this kind of work. But there are still some stories which we need to know, but you have to be patient for that and you have to wait for some more time. So we will learn more about these kind of people and their struggles in our next session. So till then, keep waiting and we will meet in the next class to learn more about these people. Till then, bye bye. Thank you.